Hey guys, welcome back to Tik Tok, and this is my very first review for a Maltese production. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Is-Sriep Reġgħu Saru Velenużi. But before we start with this review, as always, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed, and please do consider subscribing, as those are the two main ways you can help support my channel. Cheers, and let's get right into that review. So, Is-Sriep Reġgħu Saru Velenużi, I got to watch it last Saturday, and I must say I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. For everything that I enjoyed, there is something that I did not enjoy, basically. Reviewing a movie with a very small budget is not an easy task, mind you, for obvious reasons. As a reviewer, you may have noticed by now, my approach is always to try to be as positive as I can, but without ignoring the negatives. So please do remember that any criticism I give in this review is, first of all, my personal opinion, and only being said to help improve and push forward the local cinematic scene. Please also note that I have not yet read the book, so keep that in mind during my review. So, it's 1984 and Malta is in the middle of a political crisis after years of conflict between the socialist government, which is in power, and the church. We see Richard Petri, together with his friend Roger Tabone, join and work in this sort of secret organization with the ideas of radicalizing people against the Labour Party and specifically its leader, Dom Mintoff. Now, the movie switches from 1984 to 2012 very liberally. In the more modern part of the story, we get to see Noel, who is Roger's son, whose mum just recently died, still trying to come to grips with what happened to his father. He does not know what happened to his father, and he's wondering, why did he vanish? Why did he abandon us? As Noel slowly starts to get closer to Roger's family, he soon starts to recognize that all is not well and that the fate of his father must be intrinsically linked with Roger himself. Is-Sriep Reġgħu Saru Velenużi is directed and produced by Martin Bonnici and written by Theodor Relic. I do believe that this movie was a tale of two halves. The first half of the movie being much stronger than the second half. The first half honestly did set up the whole setting, the whole drama quite well. I personally really did enjoy the movie's portrayal of life in the 80s. I thought there was good attention to detail given here in most parts, lacking in others. And the way we see Roger and Richard's life sort of influenced by the corruption and violence of that time, but at the same time see them sort of exaggerated to sort of encourage their extreme position in the whole issue, is very interesting. I thought a rather touching moment was seeing Richard shocked as to sort of what happened to his son after being physically bullied for speaking in English. I also felt that a very strong moment in this movie was the ending to the first part. The whole scene was done incredibly well. I thought the audio was very powerful, and visually it was also very well shot. I will talk about performances later on, but here I cannot avoid mentioning Gianni Selvaggi's really good performance in this scene and pretty much throughout. I felt like the drama was developing well, as was each character's storyline. Unfortunately, whether it's due to budget restrictions, whether it's due to time, obviously we know that they were filming during COVID restrictions, so they had that also, another big issue there. But for some reason, I thought the second half of the movie felt extremely rushed. I thought they got the pacing all wrong here, which is a big pity due to how well paced the first half was. The whole climax of the movie and the wrapping of the story was done far too quickly. I also felt the writing took a turn for the worse in the second half.
Eileen, fejnu missieri.
This is something that has always bothered me about local productions, the overacting. Personally, I feel like some of the actors may have gone a bit overboard with their accents. As someone who attended San Anton up to primary school, I'm well aware of the Talpepe culture, and I do feel that some of the actors' accents felt incredibly forced. This is a big pet peeve for myself, and I felt I had to mention especially Roger Sr.'s wife and Roger Jr.'s girlfriend, who are the two main offenders here. This feels like a good moment to talk about performances, as this review has been all over the place so far. I felt performances were quite okay. The strongest performance for me was by Gianni Selvaggi as Richard, who I thought was head and shoulders the best performer here. His performance felt very real, very grounded, and yeah, I enjoyed it. Another standout performance was Joe Azzopardi as Roger Tabone Jr. His performance felt, again, extremely real, as if he was kind of acting as himself in a way. Joseph Zammit as Roger Tabone Sr. wasn't bad. It shows that he is a theatre actor and one used to doing Shakespeare, as his Shakespeare style English accent can attest to. Again, his performance wasn't bad, but, you know, it could have been much better. I must say I enjoyed Paul Portelli as Major Spiteri. From all the performances, I think his was the most fun for me personally, and I really did quite enjoy his monologues.
Went off residence Larish by Delimar. Studied for exits and weak spots, so you can get the job done in a flash.
What job?
You need to kill Don Minto.
Chris Gallia as Noel was meh. His performance was quite lacking as one of the most important, if not the most important, character of the movie. I also feel like Erika Muscat as Frances Tabone got the wrong end of the stick here, as her character was clearly the weakest. She was involved in a lot of forced drama moments, as I mentioned previously. Pretty much the whole relationship with Noel never felt right and was rushed quite a bit, with some extremely awkward moments. This is not for lack of trying by Erika Muscat, mind you, as she does give it her all, but it was always going to be a losing battle. Cinematography. Cinematography is quite inconsistent here. Whilst some scenes are shot incredibly well, others feel horrible. Some of the close-ups feel like they were taken straight out of some local telenovela. But then you get to see the scene with Richard Selvaggi walking towards Mintoff's villa in Delimara, which was shot so well. So it's a mixed bag here, but there is a lot of potential for improvement. Visually, the movie is unfortunately sometimes a bit too much on the sort of brownish side of things, especially in the 1984 scenes, as if some of these scenes, you know, they just put on the sepia effect on the whole image. In post-production, I also noticed that sometimes the scenes were a bit too blurry. However, I'm not sure if it's the cinema projector at fault here or if it's the movies. So this is the hard part, the rating. I honestly was considering not giving this movie a rating, but I think that would be too much of a cop-out by myself. So considering the fact that I really did enjoy the first half, I was so engrossed into the story, looking forward to the drama that was coming up, so well developed. And then I was so disappointed by the second half of the movie. I think as a rating overall, a 2.5 out of 5 is my personal rating. My recommendation is, however, for everyone to go and watch it in the cinema. Support local talent. This is a good start. There's a lot of potential here and a lot of potential improvement to be done. Now it's time to push forward. Congrats to everyone involved, however. It took a lot of balls to make this into a movie with the budgetary restrictions that were involved. A lot of ambition here, Some of it worked, some of it didn't, but I'm happy for the attempt. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that review. If you did, don't forget to leave a like on this video. Please do consider subscribing. Cheers, and I'll see you guys next time right here on Is-Sriep Talk.